Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Sports Betting by Dummies. I'm your host, Patty Parlays, and joining me as always, but not usually with his beautiful face, Dizz. Dizz, how's your weekend, buddy?
It was a good weekend. Bets didn't hit very well, but feeling pretty good coming into December, even though you absolutely popped off. So got some work to cover, but that's nothing new for us. So looking to come from behind as we always do.
Hey, I mean, you're not wrong. I have been on quite the little bit of a heater here, to say the least. But I don't want to brag or boast about it, but we'll just move on. And we believe now we've gotten some reports from our sources that our guy Connor might be back and joining us on Thursday, but he is still not feeling well. So hopefully he gets better soon, so we can have him back on the pod and have a nice little three-headed monster. But until then, hopefully Connor starts feeling better, and we'll continue on. Now, speaking of that, usually when Connor's on here, we'll go through an NBA and NHL slate on Mondays, and we talk more about the picks. But when it's just me and Diz, we like to talk about a topic or a sports betting topic, a way to help benefit others outside of just the games that we're picking and this, that, or the other. And so today we are going to give out tips, tricks, advice, yada, 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 on how to be successful in betting and how to get started. And so, Diz, if you have anything when I'm going through these, or you just want to jump in, whatever, we'll roll with that way. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear what you have, and then I'll give mine as well. I'm sure we don't have the same exact thing, but I'm sure we can build off of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this first step that I have to kind of getting started into sports betting is to find a good promotion or deal to grow the initial bankroll. Pretty much every sports book out there is looking to get your money and get you invested and get you interested in the gambling. So they want you to win or have a good start to your bankroll. Sometimes it's a deposit match, sometimes it's a risk-free bet, and if you know someone who already bets, you can ask them, and usually they will have a referral code to get both of you some money. So either way, you should be able to start making money without actually spending too much money or sometimes any money at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I would just say be cautious. A lot of those deposit matches, you can't withdraw. Obviously, you can't just pocket the free money. You have to bet that amount some way or the other. And I would also say if you get a free amount of money from a deposit match or any kind of bonus or something, uh, don't use that all on one bet. Spread it out, and I would say find your unit, which I guess was one of my points. I can dive into it if you're cool with that, Patty.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, for me, a unit is $5. I like to make $5 bets when I bet on something. Now, obviously, you've heard this pod before. I'm hoping you've heard how nuts I can get, how degenerate I can be. But at least starting out, stick to that unit, and that's a good way to turn that deposit match into earnings. At least when you start out, you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to struggle. We struggle now, and we've gambled forever. So find your unit, stick to it, and then after you have, uh, I don't want to say exit, but after you have kind of bet all of the deposit match, you can withdraw a certain amount and at least gain some money.
And so to kind of compare with what Diz is saying, my unit is $1. It's always been $1 for me. It doesn't matter what it is or what's been going on, but it's $1 for me. And typically speaking, just based off of internet research and what other people have said, the typical unit size is usually 1 to 5% of your bankroll. So if you have a $50 bankroll, you don't want to bet $5 per bet because you have that's 10% and you're going to run out if you hit a cold streak. So they typically say 1 to 5% is a good range. And also speaking on like the pulling out of the money and stuff like that for the promotions. So kind of the way we started was we put in $50. We got 50 free dollars from the sports book, and then we withdrew that $50 that we originally put in. So at that point, you're just playing with the free money that was given to you via the sportsbook. But also on that note, every sportsbook does it differently. Some sports books like to give you a single free bet, and that's one of the reasons why I really like FanDuel is because if they give you what they would consider a $50 free bet, they just give you 50 free dollars. You can spend that 50 on 50 single dollar bets, or you can do five $10 bets. You can do whatever you want with those bonus funds. So, but that is just kind of an extension on what we were talking about there, Diz.
Yeah.
The next thing I have on here, and this one pains me to say it, but I've learned this the hard way. Start with mostly straight bets. Now what does it mean to do a straight bet? It means bet on a single side of a single game. For example, this weekend, if you were to bet the Colts -10 by itself against the Texans, that is considered a straight bet. It's just one bet on one side of a single game. We all know everyone loves parlays. I love parlays. My name is Patty Parlays. I love parlays. They are flashy. They give you an opportunity to win more money, but they aren't sustainable. You will lose them more often than not. And so if you start off betting just parlays, chances are you're not going to make any money sports betting. So to start off and build your bankroll, start with the straight bets, and then once you kind of get more comfortable and more confident, and you're hitting more of the bets than you're not, then you can start sprinkling a little bit. Like we're talking less units than you would on the straight bets. Sprinkle a little bit on a parlay and possibly hit that big one and kind of explode.
Yeah. I typically don't do parlays in general because I never win them, but you have a pretty good strategy down. Yeah, just dip your toe in the water. Don't be like, oh, $50 free bet. Let's do the Patty Parlays Hail Mary parlay of the
Do
day.
not do the Hail Mary parlay of the day with a free bet. That is not ideal and not good for purposes or for
Not quite.
yeah.
Nah.
And then I have know your limits. I think this is the most important step. If you don't know and set your limits, you can very easily get out of control and you can end up losing a lot of money and just dumping more and more money into it. And then also, you could end up any money that you do make, you could end up not seeing that realized and cashing it in, and then you end up losing all that money back. So like I said, I usually don't bet more than 5% of my bankroll in any bet. I usually don't bet more than 2% of my bankroll in any bet. And I personally limit myself to $300 in my bankroll. So if I get over that $300 mark, I then withdraw that money to realize the profit, and then I'm back to the $300 mark. Um, and then I would also say you should set a limit on how much money you are willing to put into this endeavor, if you will. Maybe you say you're gonna put in $50 to start. Stick at that $50. I would not recommend putting in more if you lose all that money. We don't want people to lose all that money, but it could happen. And if you just keep losing and then you keep putting more and more into it, that's what we call irresponsible gambling. That's how you end up losing houses, losing relationships, losing everything. So it's a very slippery slope if you don't know what your limits are.
Yeah, I would just add, you touched on it, but just having that number to withdraw to. If I'm ever over 150, I withdraw to 150, and then the limit I have each year is $100, the most I can deposit on gambling, and hopefully, I don't need to deposit $100, but if I do, that's the absolute max. And then just knowing, okay, the balance is above 150, let's withdraw so we can like realize that profit. How sportsbooks make money is people don't pull out their funds when they're riding high. So that was going to be one of my points too, is make sure you withdraw, which is a branch of what you just said.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then this next one, Diz, we kind of talked about this one earlier together when we were texting about this topic, but take advantage of boosts and promotions, but do so cautiously. So
Yep.
many times online, I see people complain about a boost that was rigged or that they want their money back because something didn't work in the boost. Well, these boosts, while they are awesome and can help you gain free value and money, they aren't guarantees. Nothing is a guarantee in the world of sports gambling. Like, you also see all the time, like speaking of guarantees, like all the time people put like, oh, I just took Alabama money line against the school of the deaf, and they're minus 10,000 odds, and I put $100,000 to just get $1,000 back. But it's not likely that could happen. But nothing is a guarantee in this world. So, um, but with the boost and the promos, evaluate the bet yourself before following blindly. If that's not something you think is good, like a good bet, then chances are you shouldn't take that boost or promo.
Correct. That's how they get people. Is a lot of times, um, they're boosting things that aren't likely to happen to begin with. I mean, I have it in one of my dummy picks tonight, so I need to be careful with this. But my favorite boosts are when it's a martingale. Which, if you don't follow the pod, we'll dive into that, or we'll dig into that later on another episode. Probably revisit that. But a minus boost, an an odds boost with the original odds as a minus, and then it goes to plus odds. Those are my favorite because those boosts are likely to hit. Like a plus 200 that goes to a plus 250. Sure, that's great, but you have to realize it's 2 to 1 to begin with. So boosts fool a lot of early gamblers. Just if it's a bet you like, take it and enjoy that boost, but don't just take it because it's boosted. That's how they get some people.
Absolutely. And there are some that are guarantees, right? So sometimes you'll get the spread the love or hammer the over or whatever, where literally the over under gets to 1 point, or if if a team doesn't cover by 70 points in a football game, then you lose your bet. So some of those are meant for you to make money and they're guarantees and stuff like that. But more often than not, these are not that case.
Correct.
And so you just got to be careful with it. And very easily, and they put a max bet on it because they think they want to kind of trick people, right? You're thinking, oh, if I can only put $25 max on this, then this has to be a guarantee, right? No, that's not how it is. They make it seem that way because they put a max limit on it, but also at the same time, if it does hit, they're losing money because they're boosting this value up. So they have to put a limit to cover their butts in case this does hit. So don't get fooled just because they put a limit on how much money that you can put on a single bet.
Nicely said.
Anything else from you, Diz? That was pretty much the main points that I wanted to get across on this.
I had one more. And you were hesitant on this because I know you don't do this,
Oh,
but at least when you start out, like the beauty of sports gambling, and I can't emphasize this enough. We are all on this podcast amateur gamblers. We do not do this for a living. We cannot live off of our bankrolls and what we make. Um, when you start gambling, gamble on games you're going to watch. That's the beauty of sports gambling. Gambling makes sports so much more fun. If you enjoy sports, like if you enjoy watching the NFL on Sunday, like you are in for a treat because you don't realize how much more fun watching football can be when you have money on it. Um, with that being said, have I bet on sporting events I haven't watched? Yes, of course. But I would say when you start out, only bet on the stuff you're going to watch and then realize, okay, maybe this gambling is to make sports more fun as opposed to making money. For me, it's not about making money. If I hit a bet and I get over my bankroll and I withdraw, like, yeah, let's take that money and let's go spend it, or let's go out to eat or something. Like, that's great. But at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're betting on Pats versus Bills tonight, so we care more about it. So that's my input there. And honestly, I've done the best gambling wise when I'm watching the games and like when I'm betting on games that I'm actually going to watch. It's nothing worse than like waking up, checking the score, you didn't watch a second of it and your bet lost. Like, yeah, I wasn't emotionally attached to that. I know, Patty, that's what you do, but I wasn't emotionally attached to that bet. I mean, if you watch it and you see it develop, like there were times in college, like before gambling was like technically legal, I'd have like Butler plus 6. I'd watch an entire 2-hour game of college basketball because one, you're in college, you have like time to do that. But seeing the whole game unravel, it's like, why am I screaming on in the first half because they just hit a three? It's the power of gambling. That's what we should enjoy about gambling. Um, if you hit big, cash out and take your money. But the beauty of gambling is how much more fun it makes sports to watch. So bet on the games you're going to watch. Pat, talking to you.
Yeah, I know. So first off, there's a reason this is called sports betting by dummies. It's because we are the dummies. We don't. This isn't our full time job. We're not experts in any form of the word, and so we just happen to have this platform where we can help try to give out winners and help give out picks and advice and all this other stuff. But that's first and foremost. Now, uh, you're absolutely right. When you're get gambling or betting can make a lopsided affair or like an uneven battle matter no matter what side you're on, right? If
Correct.
if Alabama is a 48-point favorite, you're sweating out the whole 4 quarters of that game because you need Alabama to cover by 48 points. You need them to win by 7 plus touchdowns against, North Mexico State. And so you could even bet North Mexico State in that sense, and then you're cheering for a team that's going up against Alabama. And so that's the beauty of sports betting is you can actually make an uninteresting game interesting in any fashion of the set or in any way.
Absolutely. And just a kind of not really a huge point of importance, but it's the motto of our show, and it's bet together, win together. Along with making the sporting event more fun, there's a real sense of unity when you ride with someone and you have something on it together. I think it's the slogan of our podcast, and it's cheesy, but it's real. When I take Patty on a heater on a 7 game parlay that I have no business taking, and we're talking about hedging because he's hit the first five, it's a pretty magical feeling. So bet together, win together, bet responsibly. I think that's a pretty good segment there, Patty.
Yeah, agreed. And yeah, there's been a few of those these past few days when Diz is busy because he's got plans on weekends, and I'm over here like, all right, Diz, I got 2 games here left on the parlay. What do I do?
Well, that's the thing too, is the one college football parlay for $10,000 that you almost hit a couple years, or I think it was last football season over
Yes.
a year ago. I like was doing nothing that day. That's like the only time you've ever been like close to hitting a parlay or hitting a parlay when I didn't have anything going on. Today, or I think it was yesterday, right? It was for the NFL games.
Yeah.
You had like was it a 7 gamer
I hit
or
a 7 gamer, and then I was 2 games away from a 12 legger.
yeah, like I'm meeting my girlfriend's parents for the first time, and Patty's texting me like, "Hey, do I hedge? Do I hedge?" And I'm like, "Damn it, I want to text Patty, but like, damn it, I gotta like, I can't be on my phone the whole time." And so, but it's fantastic. Riding with your boys is and girls for that matter. It's fantastic. Best part of gambling, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And then before we get into the dumbest dummy competition and picks and stuff, I just have some breaking news, and this is devastating for me for
Wow.
tonight. Uh, DeMar DeRozan of the Chicago Bulls has entered the COVID protocol, and so he is
Oh
out
shit.
tonight and probably for at least the next few games, which really hurts my Bulls -3 pick versus the Nuggets. That sucks.
What are you gonna do? Hey, nothing's certain in this gambling world. We just talked about that.
That's right. That's why we.
But you stuck to a unit.
That's right. We're okay. We're not in bad shape if we miss one. I mean, it sucks if
We
we
didn't
miss
put the
one.
mortgage on the Bulls tonight.
Nope, did not, thankfully. So, but let's review the dumbest dummy competition picks from Friday. I went 2-1. I am coming out absolutely swinging. I am so hot right now. It is insane. Diz, how did you do on Friday?
I went 1-2. I was looking so damn good. Bama winning was just like I did not think they were gonna. Well, I thought they were gonna win, but you couldn't have imagined in that fact in that way. And then you look back on it, it's like, why did we? Why this was like the easiest bet of the year. So like Alabama plus 6.5, that one hit. Iowa got stomped. That's one. If I could go back in time, I'd take it again. Uh, Home dog in a conference championship game, 11 points. I'm not upset about that one. That's how it is. Um, and then the 49ers just boned me. They boned me so hard. And I didn't even get to see the end of the game. I saw they were driving late in the fourth quarter, and it's like, okay, they're going to tie it. They're going to lose by 3, and we're going to hedge or we're going to push. No, nope. Uh, did not hit that teaser. I haven't hit any like teasers in the NFL in a long time. The NFL is murdering me, but we're sticking to it. 1 and 2. I'm down units for sure. Patty, I need to listen to the Fridays pod because I don't remember. Did I say that the Washington football team and Pat's money line was a dumbest dummy pick parlayed together? I think I did, but I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Actually, I
Okay.
made the notes.
I may just go back and listen. I don't remember. I knew I said that was one of my favorite bets was parlaying the Pats and the Washington football team together because Washington football team money line was my best bet like of the whole entire week. So I was like, let's parlay them with the Pats, get some juicy value. I think it was like plus 360. I don't know if it was a dumbest dummy pick or not.
It was, and you had it at plus 362. I did find the notes
Let's
from.
go.
So you could get some ground back on that.
Let's go. Where you at? Where you at? Where I'm at?
So I am up 7.45 units.
Gee, are you serious?
I told you, man. That
Oh, here
Jason
we
Tatum
fucking
one was
go.
easy money, bro.
Here we go.
And
Here we
then
go.
you are down 1.12 units, but that obviously can turn into 2.5 if Patriots win tonight for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna need him too.
Yep.
God damn it.
And hey, I told you about that Pelicans money line too. I told you, no one else was on them but your boy here.
I did not find anyone else. And I actually got some like, why the fuck are you asking me if I took Pelicans looks when I would ask people. So
And I just said,
good for you, Patty.
feed me. Feed me. All right.
What can you do?
What can you do? Let's get into them tonight. And I've got 3 more in the NBA for you, Diz. The NBA have been I've kind of been on one in the NBA. First one, you'll love the first one, I think, Diz, here. I'm going Domantas Sabonis 25 plus points tonight against the Wizards at plus 540.
Oh, sheesh.
They played once earlier this season. Sabonis scored 28 in that game. In his last 5 versus Washington, so I'm not talking about just this one that happened earlier this year, but his last 5, he is averaging 28.8 points against Washington.
Larger sample size. Love that.
The dude is a Wizards killer, and plus 540 to have him score 25 points is insane. Give me that, and let's cash it.
He kills Wizards. Should we call him Voldemort?
That was amazing. Well done.
It's crazy. It's crazy how much better I am on these podcasts when I'm not driving 75 miles per hour on an interstate.
Right? It's crazy. It's stuff like that happens, but I'll tell you, that was good. That was
pretty nuts. Voldemort over 25 tonight.
Let's go.
Might ride with you. Is that a 7:00 game, Patty?
I believe so.
Might ride with you.
Ooh. Let me see. Yes, 7:00. Yep. And I'm jumping a little bit ahead here. I am taking the Pacers also -6. Spencer Dinwiddie is out for the Wizards. And he only averages like probably 13-ish points a game for them. But in the games without him this season, the Wizards have looked completely lost. So it's one of those where despite, he doesn't put up a ton of points, he's actually a key factor in their offense and their defense. And so, and the Wizards suck on the road and the Pacers are at home. So little tease there for you. But this next one, Diz, is my Pelicans pick of the night. Oklahoma City Thunder money line plus 138 versus the Pistons. These are 2 not great basketball teams, okay? But Diz, do you know how bad the Thunder lost when they played last Thursday?
I'm assuming it's pretty bad. I'm going to go with 37 points.
Flip those around. They lost by 73 points.
What? How does that happen?
That is legit. They lost by 73 points last game.
Wow.
Now, so am I saying that you might be saying, how can you bet on a team that just lost by 73 points? You know me, Diz. I'm a big just go against the public and totally just like mind blow people with some stats and some figures and figure out why I think this is the way. What happened, I think, was an anomaly last game, and this is why.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Do you remember a couple weeks ago on this podcast. I said if SGA is out for OKC, they're going to lose by 30 plus points to the Atlanta Hawks.
You did say that.
They only lost by like 13 that night. But sure enough, who was not playing when they lost by 73 points against Memphis?
SGA.
SGA. He is back
Do you know
tonight.
how to say his name yet?
No, and also another. Let me finish this. Let me finish this pick.
I'm sorry.
He is playing tonight, and I think they come back strong tonight and get a road dub against a Pistons team that is just overrated because they have the number 1 pick in the draft, Cade Cunningham.
What's the value money line? OKC
plus 138.
I might jump on it. You might have sold me, but you have to say his name right first. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, side note, so we at church yesterday, I was the liturgist, which means I was reading the scripture. And sure enough,
you put the lit in liturgist. So go ahead.
Sure enough, I got the craziest names and cities and all that possible yesterday. And I just ran through it like I knew what I was talking about, got everything right. And I just couldn't help but laugh because I was like, I can't name goalies' names right or anything like this. You're going to give me all these ancient names that haven't been names in years, and I'm trying to pronounce them, and it was just full circle. It was hilarious.
That's what you need to do in the pod. You just need to be confident with it, and even if you're wrong, no one's going to know. And if they do, like, it's better to just be confident and be wrong than just admit that you're wrong. So
it's so funny.
Life of a salesman right there for you.
Oh gosh. Okay. Last one I got for you, Dizz. Cleveland Cavaliers money line plus 220 versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Cavs have been one of the surprise teams this year. I like to call them the Knicks of 2021. You know me, Diz. Last year I was riding high on the Knicks. They were the surprise of the NBA. They were recovering machines. And now this Cavs team is kind of taken over. Someone that was down in the bottom 5 last year in the league, and now they're actually plus 500 or over 500 record. And so they're coming out swinging. The Bucks are a good team, no doubt about it. But the big question mark is Giannis. He has actually been out the last couple of games due to injury. He is questionable tonight. He is a game time decision. I am banking on him not playing tonight. If he plays, then I think the Cavs could still cover. But I think if he doesn't play, then I think the Cavs should actually be favored in this game. So I am really hoping that the Cavs shock the defending champs tonight.
Wow. Love it. Good value. I mean, how am I supposed to win when all your best bets are plus 100, plus 200, plus 300? I'm hosed.
Well, that was my strategy and that was my hope. So, all right, Jez, lay it on me. What do you got for tonight?
All right, so I have 2, technically 3 if you count the Pats Washington football team parlay. If the Pats win, that one hits for me, which is plus 326, which will be huge.
362.
I do. Yeah. My bad. My favorite bet of the night. It's one of my dumbest dummy picks. I think the Patriots are going to win this game. The value of them money line, I think, is like plus 130. Okay, but if they win, it's raining, it's windy as balls. It's going to be a close game. Okay, there was a boost. Now I said about 20 minutes ago to be careful about the boosts. But the fact I have the Pats to win this game by 1 to 13 points at plus 285.
Yeah.
So essentially, if you factor in the 30-mile-per-hour winds and like the wet conditions, essentially Pats money line is plus 285. So I got that Pats to win by 1 to 13 plus 285. That's one of my dumbest dummy picks. And then my other one is the Pats and Bills over 40.5. The rain is supposed to stop and the winds are 30 miles per hour, 40.5 points is not a lot for teams that we have seen put up points. Those are my 2, technically 3. Really banking on the Pats, but in a perfect world, the Pats win this game. It's ugly, but it's over 40.5 points. I hit all.
What value did you get on that Patriots 1 to 13? What? Did you say 3
plus 2? Plus 285.
It says it's at plus 220 right now.
It's boosted to plus 285. It's a boost.
No, it was at plus 185 and got boosted to 220. I was like, I don't think they usually move the value of boosts, so I wanted to kind of
My
audit
bad.
you real quick.
So it's plus 220.
Yeah.
It was at plus. Yeah, it's my bad. That's
Okay.
my bad. It's on me.
How do you feel about the other boost that's Josh Allen and Damian Harris to each rush for 40 plus yards? If it's going to be a weather game, as you will, you would think the Bills would have to have some Josh Allen designed run plays in there, and then Damian Harris is the running back for the Patriots. You would think he would have to get some touches as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
I might take that one. All right, Diz. Best bets for tonight. Group best bets. So we did go 2-1 on Friday. So we're starting out December pretty good as a group. We are actually up 1.11 units already in December, so that's good. How do we feel about the Pacers minus 5.5? No?
I don't like it.
Okay.
Pacers aren't good.
Here,
I don't like
how
them.
how about this one? How about and I feel like this one's easy. Sabonis over 17.5 points. I just gave you reasons why I took 25 plus points. We bring it down to over 17.5 at minus 104.
Yeah, easy.
All right. Sabonis over 17.5 points.
How do you feel about Pats plus 3?
I can live with it. I think the side you have to take here, especially if there's going to be weather involved, would have to be the Pats. The Pats have a better run game. They're designed for running. The Bills have struggled running the ball all season long. I'm good with the Pats plus 3.
Sweet. That's all I got.
Let's get one more in for good measure. Here's one for you, Diz. How about the Penguins Kraken over 6? No, not feeling.
Do the Kraken score? Do the Kraken score?
Oh, do the Kraken score? Of course, the Kraken score. First off, Penguins have the backup goalie in goal. Second off, hold on. I have this stat. I looked at this earlier. Let me just get to it real quick. Yes, here we go. So the Kraken, the total has gone over in 12 of Seattle's last 15 games. They score a lot. They give up a lot of goals. They're aggressive on the forecheck. They like to push the puck up, but a lot of times it also leads to breakaway, and Grubauer's been struggling in goal because, it's 2-on-1s or, breakaways essentially.
Yeah, I think you go for it. A 6 is just essentially a 5.5, except you push if it's at 6. So
Exactly. That's exactly
run
what
it.
I thought on it. So
Run it.
And it's at minus 102. So Penguins Kraken over 6. Awesome. So we got minus 104. Oh, yeah, it's minus 102. Okay. Dope sauce. So we have that going then. Let me put these in so we officially have them. All right, Diz. That leaves one thing and one thing only. The Hail Mary multi-sport parlay of the day. Now, I think there is no chance that you guessed the value of this right. Did you look at the episode notes by chance?
I did not look at the episode notes.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the NBA, and then we have 6 on the ice.
3,400.
It is $1 to win $21,919.08. I know what you're thinking. Why would you waste money on this? Why would you do this? Because I am on a heater of all heaters. I have been so close, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just tell you. All right, this is the one. This is the one where we bankrupt the sports books. Now, before we get into this, I just want to make a point here. So a lot of times I give you these ridiculous parlays, right? I am taking all of these straight up as well. So I will take, like, for instance, the first leg of this parlay, Pacers minus 6 versus Wizards. So I put 2 units on the Pacers minus 6. I'll put 2 units on, which is basically $2 for me. I will put 2 units on every single straight up bet in this parlay. And so if I hit a majority of these, then I end up making money. Okay, whether it be a couple dollars or I've made as much as like $15 on these kinds of straight up picks this week alone. So each day you're, as long as you're making money, you're staying close to even, then you're good. And then I'll put 1 unit, so I bring back my unit size, and I put 1 unit, which is $1 on the parlay. So if by some miracle I hit all 16 of these, then we're cashing out and we're running for the hills. Cool? All right, I'll start out in the NBA. I got Pacers -6 versus the Wizards. Thunder +3.5 versus the Pistons. 76ers -7 versus the Hornets. Heat -4.5 versus the Grizzlies. Cavs +6.5 versus the Bucks. Timberwolves -2 versus the Hawks. Bulls -3 versus the Nuggets. Spurs +7.5 versus the Suns. Clippers -3 versus the Trailblazers. And then Warriors -16 versus the Magic. And then in the NHL on the ice, I got Avalanche moneyline versus Flyers. I got the Ducks Capitals over 6. Devils moneyline versus the Senators. Stars -1.5 versus the Coyotes. Kings moneyline versus the Canucks. And then Penguins Kraken over 6. All right, Diz, anything you have to get off your chest before we call it a day?
I feel bad Connor isn't on after the Minshew show yesterday. That was freaking amazing.
We do have to give Minshew Mania a little bit of a salute. And did you see his interaction with his dad, Flint Minshew, after the win?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's fantastic. Electric.
I mean, Minshew is just like everyone's dream, right? Like he's living his dream.
I dream about him, if that's what you're meaning.
He's living his dream, and he's putting it all out there, and it's hard not to root for someone like him. I mean, honestly, I think I'd rather see Minshew the rest of the season than Jalen Hurts. I know Connor's beating that drum.
100%.
I don't usually like to speak for Connor, but I think we all agree in this instance that he'd like to see the mustache ride it out for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's all I got. Fun to watch, Minshew is, so I'm hoping he rides out the rest of the way.
Yeah. Yep. Me too. Me too. Or maybe they'll even start like maybe using Hurts as more of a running type quarterback, and then using Minshew in throwing downs or something. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's for the coach Sirianni to decide. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Make sure you check us out on Twitter and Instagram at SportsBetByDumb. And then make sure you check us out on YouTube. You can watch us live. You can see our beautiful faces. You know, it's always, yeah, I know. Look at that. It's always better when you can see people talking instead of just listening blindly. Just search Sports Betting by Dummies on YouTube. Filter by channel. You should be able to find us. We are on the drive to 100 subscribers. So any and all help would be appreciated. Thank you all for listening. Hope everyone has a strong, profitable start to your week. And we will see you all on Thursday.